Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this video. Welcome to Washington DC. It's 11:08 here in DC, and the temperature is 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not too cold, not too warm. It's really perfect at this time. It might be a little bit warmer early in the day, but for now it looks good. The sky is clear, very, very clear, beautiful. Not raining. I don't think there's any chance of raining today. That being said, it's really, really very nice day. So I haven't given out many updates, but doesn't matter anyway, because these videos will be uploaded in the about June, at the end of June. So you won't see these videos on time. But the day before yesterday, I haven't seen what came out from the G7 when Trump was visiting. So I have no idea what's gonna come out. If something comes up, I will give an update, but the news has been really, really off. Speaking of the news, I think we all need to be careful when reading the news, right? The purpose of these videos is to tell people that, you know, as much as I like the news, or as much as I like to say things that are related to the news, sometimes the news are like really bad. Like I received a notification yesterday, the day before yesterday, from Associated Press, or it was Yahoo News, something like that. And the headline says that the Iranian team was asked to leave. That's the headline of the news. The Iranian team, which came to play World Cup in Los Angeles, it was asked to leave. When I saw the headline, I just moved on. I didn't really care about reading it, but in my mind I was like, okay, maybe I was like, did they get asked to leave the country, you know, back to Iran? That's really strange, you know. So then, like, after a few hours, so I sat home and then I click on the news, I start reading. It turns out that the Iranian team was asked to go back to Mexico because they are now staying in Mexico. After the game, they were asked to return back to Mexico. That was that's all the news about. Then they try to make like big of a deal, but you know, they were asked to leave after the game, and then the coaches of the Iranian team were complaining that they wanted to stay in the US to recover, whatever. That's the whole purpose of the news. The news the news made it sound like the US government asked them to like leave. That was like the whole news cycle thing, which I found it to be absurd. Like, why would you know there's a war, you know there's like a fragile between Middle East, their allies, the neighbors, and you probably something like that, you know, like it was terrible. So anyway, the Iranian team played a good game. I can't remember whom they were playing with, but the game was perfect. The game was great. I believe the Iranian team lost for a couple goals. The team didn't seem to be doing great. Actually, I was surprised by how many teams are performing so poorly on the game. There has been other games as well that were taking place. Argentina played. France with what's the other team? Was it Cote d'Ivoire? Senegal played. Mbappe scored, of course. Messi also scored 3 goals. So there was a good game that happened yesterday. Today's gonna be more games too. Today we have you have Congo is playing, DRC Congo. You have many other games that are playing today. So I cannot keep track of all of them because I don't have time for all of that. But yeah, it's been a really wonderful games happening. People are enjoying the games. Things are going great. But the main highlight is that the day before yesterday, if you can remember, if you watch this video in June, at the end of June, if you can remember, back in January of 2026, Donald Trump sent an aircraft, a military aircraft known as B-2 bomber. B-2 bomber is very large aircraft that can fly in the airspace without being tracked. All right. So the B-2. So yesterday, the day before yesterday, a B-2 bomber crashed in California, one of the airports in California, and all the 18 people on the board did not survive. So that was the highlight. Now, if you don't know, the B-2 bomber cost so much money, like you know. Now it costs so much money, but also it destroys a lot. You know, it's called B-2. It's called the B-2 bomber for a reason. Like, it bombs things, and it was sent to Iran. I think it's mid-January or February, around there, to destroy all the uranium areas, which it did. Then returned it back with no trace. Nobody knew when it did, when it gone, and when it came back. So it was very silent. So far, from what I've seen, that there has been 3 B-2 bombers that got crashed. So you have one that crashed in 2008, another one crashed in 2022, another one crashed this year. So 3 of them have crashed, and each of them costs so much money. Excuse me. Each of them is very expensive. So that was pretty much the highlight. Then yesterday there was an election for the Democratic primaries for the mayors. I was surprised that this does not have Republican primaries. They don't have Republican candidates running. I mean, maybe they are. Maybe I don't know them. I have no idea. I haven't seen any. Seems like they don't have Republicans running for candidacy to be district mayors. But then, so I have no idea there was gonna be an election, because primaries are not that popular. So I was just I was driving around, and I saw a bunch of polls that says vote here, vote here, vote here, and then I did not pay attention to it. But then last night I came home, turned the TV on after the game, after the Argentina game. There was a news which shows that the election was done, and whoever won the primary. So I think the lady, her name is Janice Ruiz Georgia. Janice Ruiz George. Maybe it's pronounced as George or Jorge. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but maybe probably it's George, because she's an American. She's an African American. She seems like she got 68 votes. All right, 68%, because they have to rank the choices. So that's how the primaries works. I don't know how the primaries works, but I think the primaries, they basically have a bunch of candidates from the Democratic Party, and then those candidates, they rank them by choices. No, like who is the best? Yeah, they rank them like who's the best candidate, and then so when too many people rank you as the first, look at this track. Yeah, when too many people rank you as the first, then you get to win. So Ruiz George, it looks like she was ranked the first with 68 votes. Then Kenyan McCarthy, the guy, he was he says he worked under Barack Obama. He was ranked as the was ranked as the second. All right. So DC has a reputation of actually. DC has a reputation of having terrible mayors. In the past, there has been a historical past where mayors were like drug addicts and gangsters, I guess. So I think people don't have trust in mayors to be mayor in DC. Second, DC mayors are predominantly black because the large population of residents here in DC are mostly majority either black or African American. There are more Ethiopian communities in DC than in Ethiopia, than anywhere in the United States. So that's because many black people concentrate here and they all have residencies. So they vote. For majority of us and mostly white people, they just come here for jobs, lobbyists, governments, and then but most of them have their own residencies outside the country. So Georgia, Texas, Hawaii. So they go vote over there. They don't vote here. So that was pretty much. So because of that, women have, like for instance, if you have Louis George, and Kenya McCarthy, all of them running, the female have more chances of getting voted than a male. I'll be right back in a few minutes. Getting in the tunnel. All right. So another thing I noticed in DC, I was saying that area that women have more chance of getting voted in DC than male in the mayor candidates for two reasons. Number one, DC, from what I've noticed, DC, especially like the main downtown area, the area that has more population, mostly like in the eastern, southeastern part of DC, and southwest part of DC, they have more majority of female concentration there. They have more women in there, so the chances of voting a woman is much higher. Another thing is that in DC doesn't have power. The mayor of this does not have power over the federal government. The federal government, the Congress controls DC. All right, because majority of us are here because of the federal government. If it wasn't that, I probably won't be here. Probably I would be in Arlington or something, right? But the federal government has so much power over DC. They oversee the budget. They create laws. They do whatever they want. The mayor is just it's just for smaller things. So when there is a voting, most men don't really vote as much because they think it's useless anyways. Why would you vote if people like Donald Trump has power over DC, or people like Congresses have power over DC? They don't really care to vote. But having a female mayor helps with things like advocacy, which is why more female tend to participate in these mayor candidates, and they also get more votes as well compared to a man. Like for instance, Kenya McCarthy was emphasizing on curfews. He was emphasizing on safety because DC has historical safety issues. where kids will go out there and break into cars, commit crimes. What else? What the kids do? Like beat people on the metro, litter, trash. Like, you know, kids in this city just do lots of bad things, and because mayors don't have the power to do anything, oftentimes the federal has to do something about it, which is why Donald Trump deployed National Guards. The people who are moving DC, you think it's a good thing, but people who are born here, people who are raised here, when they see, oh, there's a cops here, what's the cops doing? It looks like there's a homeless guy walking on the street. Is it a cops or just a security guard? So anyway, I need to turn over. So that's pretty much, that's all about DC. That's all about what's going on right now. So we expect to see the new elections coming up with George Luis. I don't know who she's gonna be running against. Maybe I haven't seen any Republican candidate, but from what I've seen is obviously they're going to vote for her. Now the biggest challenge is she got 68 votes. All right, that's a very low number. Also, it shows how the residents don't have they have a different opinion. The residents within the Democratic Party, they have different views how this should function, right? Which is a big problem. Some people think that we shouldn't have National Guards, we shouldn't have police everywhere. Some people think that this needs to be its own state, which is debatable. I don't know if DC should be a state, because if it becomes a state, then DC has much power. It has more power than any other state, which is not fair, right? Because they have the federal government. Or if DC should be totally part of the government, right? Like I said earlier, DC has more black residents who lived here for a long time, right? At some point, DC was not part of any. It was just like part of. It was part of the Virginia and Maryland, and then like George Washington, whatever, those guys, they chose to move the federal government from. I believe it was in Pennsylvania before. Then it was moved to New York City. Then they moved it here, right? Then it became part of the federal government. Then over time, this has always been. But when it was moved, there was, people used to live here. Those people were colonies, and also there's colonies owned slaves, which is the African American slaves. So when when the Civil War ended and the Civil Rights Movement ended, some black people became residents. They became citizens because they were not considered citizens at the time. So they owned the properties, they owned the press, and after the Civil Rights Movement, even more black people moved in here. So more black residents live in DC than anywhere else in the country. So they want their own state, So the debate was that should they make DC its own state, right? Which for me I don't think is a good idea, because DC on its own, just being a city, not even a state, like a city on its own, they have more crime. Like there's a lot of crimes here, like visible crime, more than another city. Like people commit crime and like you can't do anything about it. So if it becomes a state, it will be even worse than that. So that being said, I think that's what I have for today. I don't have anything else to share in this June. There has been more jobs opening, so yes, there's been job openings in this summer. I know this is because I'm job searching, and I'm getting emails from recruiters asking me to apply. This is a positive thing. This has never happened since last year. Now, if more jobs keeps opening and the momentum keeps going until next year, we could give credit to Donald Trump if this keeps happening. But still, there is a lot of jobs needs to be opening. There is more people who are unemployed right now that needs to get employed. As soon as the deals are signed in Iran to end the war, the gas prices dropped. So yesterday I was driving and I saw the gas prices going from $4.25 to $3.08. All right, in Maryland, because Maryland has the cheapest gas, which is surprising compared to everywhere else. So that's what I have for today. I think that should be 15 minutes video. Other than that, thanks for watching. Like always, whoa, what are you doing, bro? That's what I have for today. Thanks for watching. Like always, bye bye, ciao ciao, adios, spasiba. Take care and have a wonderful Wednesday, and enjoy the sunny in this. Hope you're enjoying the sunny in this June. Bye bye.